Should we move on to the main event? 2018 All In.
Yes.
A day that I have a graphic. I should load this up. A day that really was the beginning of something much, much bigger. And you know more about the subject than I do, but I do have some strong feelings about, the long-term effects that this had on the wrestling business. Of course, there's a graphic that I found for All In that I thought looked pretty cool. I found a couple different ones, but there he is, the man of the moment there, Cody Rhodes, the American Nightmare, along with the Young Bucks in the top there.
I mean, for me, All In was the moment. Like, because I had been going to indie wrestling shows for quite some time. Since 2003, I've been going to indie shows. And the talk at those shows was, what if there was an indie wrestling super show that could take on WWE and Vince McMahon?
Yeah.
And, 2003, Ring of Honor was really starting to hit the ground running. Got derailed with the Rob Feinstein scandal involving pedophilia. Rob Feinstein created Ring of Honor. Mm-hmm. He's the owner of RF Video. RF Video, very popular amongst tape traders as the top tape trading, pro wrestling tape trading, mail-in, website, whatever. But he's the one who did the ECW fan cams, where you could get recordings of ECW house shows, which were very big if you lived in an area where ECW didn't air, because they would do monthly deals where you could buy a month of ECW TV and be caught up for the pay-per-view.
Yeah.
So it would help generate pay-per-view sales at the 0 hour. What happened was Rob was busted as a part of a Pennsylvania news channel's underage sex sting. Think a la Catch a Predator.
Oh, yeah.
It was Hansen. Like that.
Okay.
And what happened because of it is TNA Wrestling pulled all of their top talent. Mm-hmm. All their talent that were there were pulled immediately from Ring of Honor. Jerry Lynn, AJ Styles, Christopher Daniels. And Christopher Daniels was basically going to be given a title run, which would have paid off their top storyline, which was the prophecy disavowing the code of honor. And what would happen if Christopher Daniels was champion? We were about to find out.
Mm-hmm.
But instead, Ring of Honor had to pivot.
Yeah.
At that point. And it was a good thing they did, because then we got Samoa Joe's really long title reign. CM Punk became bigger main event player for Ring of Honor. Other guys really got to put their foot in the door as well. Homicide, Low Key, even though he was let go because he called Rob Feinstein a baby toucher in a scathing promo. Basically, at ROH Reborn, ending a promo when him and Homicide started the Rottweilers.
Wow.
Yeah. He said, we're going to take over a promotion run by a baby toucher.
Oh, my goodness. Yeah.
So what ended up happening, Rob Feinstein got unceremoniously removed. Basically, it was a hostile takeover with him and the other owners. Doug Gentry and Kerry Silken basically forced him out.
Yeah.
And took his shares, and ROH was even pulled from RF Video.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So, yeah, it was huge, which really hurt Ring of Honor in the short term, because RF Video was able to record, edit, produce, and mail out all of Ring of Honor's events.
Mm-hmm.
So they didn't have to put extra cost into that production.
Yeah. Wow.
So that was always the talk, is what happened if, IWA Mid-South, which was run by certified piece of shit Ian Rotten, IWA Mid-South, NWA, and Ring of Honor got together and just did a super show, like a 2-day event. Because you had regional major events. Like in the Midwest, the big one was probably the Ted Petty Invitational. East Coast had the ECWA Super 8 tournament that launched stars. So you had all of these regional big shows.
Well,
but there was never this idea of them all coming together to make a national super show.
Well, so in theory at the time, if you're talking about that, then what you're really talking about is something that resembles sort of the pre-Vince territory system, right? Where you've got these multiple territories working together with one show.
Right. And that was why All In was so cool, is because now you had that opportunity. You had that ability. And, it was awesome.
And I guess, and they were calling it All In because they were going
all in.
They were going all in and really taking a big risk here. And this is
very big risk. They could have. Cody and the Young Bucks, Ring of Honor produced the event.
Yeah, this is pre Tony Khan. We should just make that clear to everybody who is confused. This is before Tony Khan enters the picture. This is the original All In before AEW even existed.
This is what led to AEW, really.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was just monumental.
Yeah. What was also so interesting about it to me at the time was, so Cody Rhodes, after leaving, so he leaves WWE. He was tired of being Stardust. I can't remember. Fill this in for me because you have a better memory for these details than I do. Was his contract up and he just didn't want to resign, or did he ask for his release and they gave him his release? Do you remember?
He asked for his release and it was granted under the caveat he could not use the name Cody Rhodes.
Right. Which he, interestingly enough, though, he went on social media and claimed that he could. After, I don't know if you remember this detail. I thought it was strange at the time. After Dusty passed away, Cody posted, I think it was, I might have been Twitter. He said, "I own the name Rhodes. I was with him from the beginning to the end," or something like that, which everybody kind of knew wasn't legally technically true, but he was making that claim. But then, of course, once AEW started and he went there, he didn't use the name Rhodes, just like he did not on the independent circuit because he couldn't. He was just right. Cody. He was just Cody. But so he had left. He was tired of being Stardust. I actually thought, how did you feel about the Stardust character? I actually liked it.
Drizzling shit.
You didn't like it? I liked it, but they should have pivoted once it had run its course, and they didn't seem to want to.
Drizzling shits.
Cody wanted to pivot, but they didn't want to pivot. Why didn't? What was there anything specific about it?
This was cartoony. It was comical. It was dumb. It just like even before Stardust, you could see Cody Rhodes had ability.
Sure.
It just was untapped. And we've said it so many times before, like Jim Ross says, sometimes you have to go learn a new hold.
Yeah.
I think Cody, when he went to the independents, betting on himself, he really, came into his own.
Yeah.
And I think that's very important for the audience to know.
But did you object to Stardust in terms of, like, would you have preferred they do something more short term, or would you prefer that they had not done it at all?
I didn't want them to do it at all. I thought it was dumb. I liked it.
I thought it was cool. I popped for it at first. I did. I can't tell if the screen is frozen or you're just in shock.
Never admit that again.
I did. The first time he came out as Stardust, I thought it was cool.
No. Don't. Let's move on. Yeah, I don't want you to bear your wrestling sins here. Like I've committed some sins in wrestling, like major ones.
Yeah.
Like I've popped for some shit I shouldn't have popped for.
Yeah.
Like there was a time on Raw that they're like a major star is coming back. I thought it was Chris Jericho. The lights went out in the arena and I popped and it was The Miz.
Yeah.
I marked out for The Miz.
Sure.
So
that's by accident though.
Yeah, you willingly admitted.
I did. I liked it. I did.
Just don't.
The cartwheel and everything. I like the whole thing. I thought it was fun.
The whole shebang.
I did. The whole kit and caboodle. I did. I like the whole thing. I thought it was cool.
I
like the weird things he would say that didn't make sense. I like the whole thing.
I don't even know you anymore.
I know, right?
I'm sitting here and I'm like, I don't know Matt Connerton.
Maybe that's not even my real name. Maybe my real name is Pat Monerton, for all you know.
Maybe it is Matt Covington.
Maybe it is, or Matt Connington, or yeah. But no, I liked it. But I do think it went on too long, and there should have been a pivot. There should have been an angle where he says, I've had enough of this or something. They could have done something, but instead they just let it go on. And he talked about it when he first left WWE. He talked about, he went on podcasts and talked about how like he had all these ideas and he would go into a room to talk to one of the writers and they would say, they would brush him off. They would say, "Oh, I don't know. I'm too busy to talk to you about what we're going to do with your character." And he even told a story. You've probably heard him tell it. He walked into a room to talk to one of the writers, and the writer was pretending to be busy typing something on his laptop, and Cody could actually see from where he was standing that the computer wasn't even on. And it was like they were just brushing him off, giving him the Miriam Banish is in the chat room and says Matt Calmington. Yes, that's what some of my hypnotherapy clients call me, Matt Calmington.
Well, you're not Calmington when you sit here and say, "Oh, I popped for Stardust."
Maybe I was hypnotized by Stardust. I'm pretty sure he had that ability.
You were hypnotized by shit.
Apparently. Well, that's fine.
Drizzling shit.
But
shit everywhere.
But he wanted to pivot and they wouldn't work with him.
Yes, I would want to pivot. I would want to pivot too if I was served a turd sandwich.
Right.
Like I would pivot from a turd sandwich to cold ramen. What are we? No. Of course he wanted to pivot.
I got to find a picture of Stardust for people who don't know what we're talking about. I mean, I assume most people who are enjoying this podcast will know.
It was maybe a smidge better than Dashing Cody Rhodes.
Now, see, I liked that too because I just thought it was kind of funny.
Well, everyone, it's been a fun ride, but
you didn't like Dashing Cody Rhodes?
No. Or him with just a mustache. That was ridiculous.
See, I thought those were funny because he seemed to have an ability to play those characters. But that's the thing though. They should have. So because he had proven himself, there he is in all his glory. There's Stardust. I know. But because he had proven himself, because here's the thing, no matter what he did, whether it was Stardust, whether it was Dashie, Cody Rhodes, whatever they gave him to do, he always applied himself and did his very best. He had his dad's philosophy on that. Dusty, when he went to WWF and Vince put him in the polka dots and Dusty said, "Okay, I'm going to get this over." And he did sort of. I mean, the truth is nobody gave a shit about the polka dots. They just cared because he was Dusty Rhodes and he was going to be over no matter what. But Cody, he threw himself into everything he was given, including Stardust and Dashing Cody Rhodes. But that should have proven to them that he could do whatever. So if he wants to pivot, then maybe you listen to him and you pivot. And they didn't want to work with him.
Right. And I mean, I give Cody credit that he worked hard at it, and you could tell he worked hard at it. It just was not.
I got rid of him for you.
Yeah, thank you. But like eventually hard work just doesn't pay off if this is what you're given.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sorry. That's it. Brass tacks.
So Cody leaves. So he asks for his release. He leaves WWE. He did something I thought was very interesting that I'd never seen anyone do before. He made the list. He made a list. This was before Chris Jericho's list, right? He made a list of people he wanted to face on the independent scene.
I mean, and he
made
did
it public.
I mean, he went on a major barnstorming indie tour.
Yeah.
Like he hit every major promotion. And then once his name got big, New Japan jumped on the Cody bandwagon. Then Ring of Honor came calling. And no, Ring of Honor was first, then New Japan.
Yeah.
And that's when it was okay, we got this hot group. Well, they were big, but they were about to become nuclear.
The Bullet Club?
The Bullet Club. And when Cody mixing with the Bullet Club, just one of those things that happened at the right time.
Yep.
You can't predict it. You can't do anything, but once it happens, ride that lightning bolt. And the New Japan did. To internet pay-per-view, and things just took off. Hot Topic t-shirt deals. I remember, if you sat there and said Monday Night Raw sucks, SmackDown sucks, but there was never any challenge to be better.
Right.
Then the Bullet Club hit, and it's like, that's it. Because there was always Ring of Honor, there was always New Japan, there was always the Indies, but there wasn't this pressure on Vince.
Yeah. The wrestling business there has to be competitive forces within the business, or otherwise everybody gets complacent and a little bit lazy. It just happens.
And I think a lot of this was wrestling fans wanted something new. And they got it with the Bullet Club. And they got it with Cody Rhodes. They got it with Kenny Omega, Matt and Nick Jackson, the villain Marty Scurll, Hangman Adam Page. Adam Cole was a member of the Bullet Club until he was unceremoniously kicked out. And then New Japan announces we're going to partner up with Ring of Honor. And that's when it really exploded, because now you had an American outlet where these guys could go and perform.
Right.
I remember when I realized it was big. 2017, summer 2017. Ring of Honor announces their Global Wars tour.
Yeah.
I'm going to look this up because the original date for ROH Global Wars was one date only, Columbus, Ohio. And one star was announced.
Yeah.
Kenny Omega.
Okay. Love Kenny Omega.
Best bout machine. Easily one of the top 10 greatest of all time.
Yep.
Without a doubt.
Yep.
You then sold out in 30 minutes.
Yeah.
So then they're like, well, let's add more. And Kenny Omega said, I'll do all the dates. So it expanded to starting in Buffalo, Pittsburgh, Columbus, and ending in Chicago. Villa Park, Illinois, a suburb in Chicago.
I know it
Odeum
well.
Expo Center.
Yep.
And it sold out.
Yeah.
All 4 shows sold out.
Yeah.
And you know what? Ring of Honor Club membership went through the roof because they did something very interesting. Buffalo was not even streamed at all the first night.
Yeah.
But night 2, Global Wars Pittsburgh was iPay-per-view. No, Global Wars Pittsburgh wasn't streamed. It was done for a TV taping. Global Wars Columbus was streamed as a part of Honor Club. Global Wars Chicago, the last night, that was the night that they did the iPay-per-view, and the iPay-per-view crashed.
So for anyone who doesn't know, just so we're clear, so an iPay-per-view, a pay-per-view that's strictly on the internet rather than the traditional with the, through satellite and the cable companies and everything. And that crashed during the event?
Yeah, it crashed. I mean, they got it back up pretty quickly, and it crashed right around intermission. So as luck would have it. But I remember they cut a promo, and Cody Rhodes in the middle of the ring at the end said, "Pro wrestling is cool again."
Yeah.
And then the next day, they did a meet and greet at Pro Wrestling Tees that sold out in 20 minutes.
Yep.
I mean, my God. Just printing money that weekend.
Yep. Yep.
And you realize that was the precipice of this idea. Well, they just sold out for I wouldn't call them arenas, but for 5,000 seat clubs.
Mm-hmm.
And they did it in areas that have a heavy wrestling footprint. But if they could sell 5,000 with promotion, what could they do?
The thing is, at this time, the way that I remember it, just as a fan, is there was such it wasn't that at that point in time that interest in pro wrestling had been waning so much as just fans had become so disenchanted with what was such a weak WWE product at that point, because even at that point, it had been a couple of years since I had even subjected, and I'm a lifelong wrestling fan, but it had been probably a couple of years since I had actually sat down and watched from beginning to end Raw or SmackDown, like actually sat and watched it. In fact, for a long time, I'd fallen into a pattern of I wouldn't watch it at all. I would go online. Well, I shouldn't say I wouldn't watch it at all. I wouldn't watch the shows at all. I would go online, find out what happened. And if it looked like something interesting happened that I actually gave a shit about, I would go on YouTube and I'd find the clip of it on YouTube and I would watch that. And then, but it was also around this time, I kept hearing about NXT, and NXT obviously a part of WWE, but Triple H was running it at the time. And I kept hearing about how NXT was actually so much cooler than what they were doing on the main roster. So I checked it out and I got hooked immediately because we were getting something from NXT that we didn't get anymore on the main roster, and so the desire, because I'm sure there's probably God knows how many people in the same position as me who they've just been so bored with Raw and SmackDown and they just wanted something more compelling, and it was out there. It just had to find it, or it had to find us, but it was out there.
Right. And it was out there, and by the time that event happened, it was now in your face.
Yep.
Because keep in mind, the Bullet Club had been poking the bear. Leading up to that, they went to a WWF live event and recorded it for being BTE being the Elite.
Their YouTube show being the Elite. Yeah.
Yeah. And Jimmy Jacobs was on it. That ended up getting him cut from his producer role.
What was he actually in it though, or didn't they just take a picture with him and the picture?
Yeah, they took a selfie with him.
Yeah, because he was a WWE employee. Yeah.
Funny side story to that. At the end of the Global Wars event, Jimmy jumped the guardrail and took a picture with them.
Did he?
Yes. People were throwing their cell phones into the ring.
Yeah.
For them to take a selfie with it. It was just crazy.
Yeah.
And that's when I met Kenny Omega, because they had a meet and greet before the show.
Okay.
I met Kenny Omega. I met the Young Bucks. I met Cody at that event.
Okay.
And Cody, this is why I say Cody can't be a heel.
Okay. Very curious to hear more about
My cousin Austin Hicks, and I hope you make this story into a short.
Okay.
Because it should be.
Okay.
Die-hard Cody Rhodes fan.
Okay.
Big Cody fan. He had school the next day. Global War Chicago was on a Sunday. He had school.
Yeah.
Couldn't go. Mom wouldn't let it. So I had paid to meet Cody. I decided I was going to go ahead and call Austin and let him talk to Cody.
Oh, okay.
On the phone.
Yeah.
And I did so. And he loved it. And Cody, keep in mind, they would do autographs as a part of the meet and greet.
Oh, of course.
That you paid.
Yeah.
But the Stars got a large chunk of that money. Cody signed an autograph photo for Austin at no additional charge.
Yeah. No, it's very nice.
At no charge.
Yeah.
And had a 3 to 4 minute conversation with him on my phone.
Oh, that's very cool.
Yeah. So look, it was that connection that the fans had with the members of the Bullet Club.
Yeah.
This access that they had with these guys.
But wasn't the Bullet Club a heel group though?
Didn't matter. Did not matter.
Yeah, I just think
even when AJ Styles was a leader of the group, and they were heels, people still loved them.
Well, they were cool heels, yeah, just like the NWO or any number of other,
I actually think the Bullet Club is more influential than the NWO.
Oh, interesting.
Because you look, the Bullet Club essentially started a pro wrestling organization.
Mm-hmm.
NWO just took millions upon millions of dollars, and great story and everything, but it didn't have that staying power.
Yeah, I see what you mean.
The Bullet Club, man, they're still over.
I feel like though you've argued against your own point about Cody, because you say he can't be a heel because he's such a great guy, and I understand that. And by the way, there's no shortage of wonderful stories about Cody Rhodes. He's right. by all accounts, he's an incredible human being, which is one of the great things about him. Seeing him being the guy at the top of the mountain right now. It's great to see. He earned it, and he's, by all accounts, he's a wonderful person. But he was a wonderful person while being technically a heel. So why couldn't he be a heel again?
People still, even when they did the Bullet Club Civil War storyline, Kenny Omega was over like Rover. Okay.
Yeah.
Pro Wrestling Tees, the Team Cody shirts sold just as much as the Team Kenny shirts.
Yeah.
So, no, he can't. Because even when they tried to make Cody a heel, and they had him turn on Kenny Omega, had him turn and try to take away Kenny's creation, the Bullet Club, from him. Kenny is the reason why it became this multi-million-dollar empire and all this other story. And Cody's this evil man trying to take it away from Kenny, take away his best friends, take away everything. And all Kenny has is his IWGP Heavyweight Championship and Kota Ibushi. People still loved Cody.
Sure, but that doesn't mean he
So
can't be a
if
heel.
you can't have him turn on someone like Kenny Omega and get him booed, I don't think anything will. This guy could go and butcher puppies, and fans would find a way to say the puppies had it coming.
Sure.
I don't think you can do it.
I mean, John Cena's a wonderful human being. He holds the record for Make-A-Wish. But so what? He's still a great heel.
Still hated Cena.
Yeah, that is a valid point. That is a valid point.
There was always this undercurrent of
that's true.
He should be a heel.
That's valid.
There hasn't been that with Cody. There hasn't been they should make Cody a heel.
Oh, I disagree.
Not at the level that John Cena had it.
In AEW, the fans were turning. They were getting pretty sick of good guy Cody, and they wanted him to. And Cody wouldn't do it, but they wanted him to turn. They started booing him. They wanted him to turn.
Let me ask you something. AEW fans, they still cheer for Jon Moxley, right, as their world champion?
I don't watch AEW enough to know, but I assume that's true. Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. That shows their intelligence level. Let's move on.
Okay.
I'm feeling kind of salty today.
Don't you want? I mean, after a while, don't you want to see a new dimension to a character? Because he has heel characteristics anyway. Like
he does have heel characteristics, but if you're going to do that, you're going to do it, you better make damn sure it's gonna work.
Sure.
Because let's look at it like this. What if Hogan's heel turn didn't work?
Yeah.
WCW's done.
I don't know about that, but they.
Oh yeah, they are because you've deep sixed your whole story.
Well, yeah, they'd have to do a pivot that they probably wouldn't have been able to pull off. You're right.
No way.
That's fair. Yeah,
it was fair. All the eggs were in the basket, and that's what you'd be doing with Cody. You can do it with John Cena now because eventually the fans are going to come back around. And it's already started because they know that we're nearing the end of the road of this legendary career.
Yeah, he's going to turn face at the end, and that'll be it. Yeah.
But there isn't... I don't think there's a reason to even try it with Cody.
Oh, I'm not saying they should, by the way. I'm not saying, just to be clear, there's no reason to do it right now. I'm saying in the future, though. When it's time to freshen him up, because that day's going to come.
But here's the other thing. Cody has in his contract the ability to take time off. I'm a firm believer in this. Had John Cena throughout his career had the ability to take extended amounts of time off, those calls for a heel turn wouldn't have been as strong.
Yeah, because you wouldn't be sick of it. It was like Jim Cornette always says, how can I miss you if you won't go away?
Yup.
Yeah.
Yup. So, or you're cheering for him because it feels real. Yeah. And that's why, even if you turn CM Punk heel, he's still going to get those face reactions.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, undoubtedly.
Well, we also too, we live in an era now where I think fans have become conditioned to accepting that now more than ever that, you don't necessarily have, good guys who are always good and bad guys who are always bad, because as I've talked about many times, we see in today's wrestling, especially in current WWE, we see a level of character development that we have not ever seen ever.
I just thought of this in regards to Cody.
Yeah.
Cody embraces both sides of it. He embraces the boos and the cheers.
Yeah. Yeah.
When you're a heel, you can't embrace those. You can't embrace the booze. They have to make you angry.
Yeah.
And that's the great thing about Cody is he's so fan centric that he is, you know what? You paid for your ticket. Boo me, cheer me. Yeah, cool.
Right.
I got a reaction.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's very hard to make that guy a heel because that what are you going to do? Have him come out and say, "Oh, I always hated it when you booed me." Really? The same person's been booing you for 5 years now.
Right.
What's changed?
Right.
What's changed, Cody?
Right.
You know, so that's the other hard part is in today's wrestling and smarks being in the know, it's very hard for you to do that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But Cody's embraced it.
Yeah.
And that is done nothing but help his popularity.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. So how many of these shows did they do before All In was conceived?
Well, Global Wars happened in October of 2017.
Okay.
That led to the next ROH blockbuster weekend.
Okay.
When they did War of the Worlds, and it was in May 2018.
Okay.
Why this is important is it was Ring of Honor's next trip to Illinois. And that day is when All In was announced.
Okay. Okay.
That it was official. It was going to be in Chicago. They had a press conference at Pro Wrestling Tees.
Yeah.
To announce tickets going on sale that day, and they sold out in less than 30 minutes and only announced one match.
Yeah, that's incredible. Yeah, that's really incredible.
And this was not a small arena. It is the Now Arena in Hoffman Estates, Illinois,
Mm-hmm.
and it seats roughly 10,543 people.
I was going to say, yeah, I remember it being right around 10,000. Yep.
Well, you know why it was right around 10,000?
Why?
Because someone asked Uncle Dave on Twitter, do you think the Bullet Club could sell out a 10,000 seat arena? And Dave responded very snarkily, not anytime soon. And Cody responded, want to bet on that?
Mm.
And that is Uncle Dave lost that bet.
Yeah, I mean, in Dave's defense, I will just say I was very skeptical at the time myself. I mean, I didn't think that. I didn't think it would. I didn't think it would be a failure, but I didn't think it would sell out.
I didn't think it would sell out in 30 minutes.
No, I certainly didn't think that. No.
I said it would sell out in 2 weeks.
Okay. Wow.
I said because being in these live crowds, seeing the reaction these guys were getting, seeing Hot Topic sell out of the shirts and the merchandise and Pro Wrestling Tees becoming a multi-million-dollar empire.
Yeah.
All because of the Bullet Club. It's like, yeah. I remember being in line for the Ring of Honor meet and greet at War of the Worlds, Illinois that night, and people trying to get tickets and no one could.
Yeah. Were you there? Were you at All In?
I did not get tickets.
Okay.
I entered contests. I tried. I even had tickets to StarCast.
Oh, did you? Yeah.
Yeah. But I didn't end up going because I was like, because scalper prices were insane.
Oh, yeah. No doubt. No doubt. So then, yeah. So now there's some details that I'm not clear on. So they do this event. So who was in charge for the event? It was basically Cody, the Young Bucks, Kenny Omega, Adam Page. Is that who was in charge of running this whole thing?
Not Adam Page. It was
Because
promoted by Cody and the Young
Okay.
Bucks.
okay,
And they all and Ring of Honor handled the video production of it.
okay,
That's where the issue of ownership comes into play.
okay,
Because
Yeah.
Ring of Honor owns the rights to the original All In.
yeah,
Again, a misstep by Cody and the Bucks. I mean, not really the Bucks because they're members of AEW. So Ring of Honor is owned by AEW.
right.
So no biggie. But for Cody, it is.
Well, what do you mean? Because do you think so do you think that they shouldn't have allowed? Do you think they didn't do their due diligence?
They did. I think they were over a barrel.
Okay.
I think in this is me spitballing here.
Yeah.
I think in the big to do of getting arena, getting talent, but getting everything, there was oh shit, how are we going to air this?
Yeah. Yeah.
And Ring of Honor comes up and says, hey, we'll produce it.
Because in theory, so if they hadn't solved that problem and they couldn't air it, though, I mean, it would still be a successful event, right? Even if you've got an event that's not
it's sold out, but you're not going to get the pay-per-view dollars.
Right.
You're not going to get the re-airs. You're not going to get, because keep in mind that even after the event, people were talking about how amazing it was.
right.
So they were really gearing up towards re-airs and rebuys. And if you spent that I think it was $39.99. If you spent that, you got to keep the event. It was yours.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah, so you can watch it as many times as you want. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've never actually watched it. Did Ring of Honor, did they do a good job producing it?
Yeah, the production was great. The issue is they really some matches really ran over.
Yeah, I remember reading about that.
The main event had to be cut down big time. But look, at the end of the day, my goodness, it just, I mean, I think the big thing was, I think what kind of hurt the momentum of this show was, I want to say 2 weeks before, maybe a little longer, Kenny Omega had finally beat Kazuchika Okada for the IWGP Heavyweight Championship belt.
Yeah.
So it was like, what do you do with Kenny Omega now? Him and Penta had an amazing match, but you're just like, and you had Okada versus Marty Scurll.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. I think hindsight being 2020, maybe they should have pushed for Kenny to win it at All In.
Yeah.
And that be your main event. But I get New Japan saying, and I don't know if they said no, but being like, no, it's happening here. Because that 2 out of 3 falls match is one of the top matches of all time.
Which match is that?
Kazuchika Okada versus Kenny Omega. 2 out of 3 falls match.
See, I've never actually seen it.
Epic.
Yeah, I'd like to see that. So after, so I know next week we're going to talk about AEW. Should we talk now about the part where this leads to AEW, or should we save that for next week?
I mean, we can kind of touch base on it because once numbers started coming in,
yeah,
then it was like, okay. And here's where Ring of Honor made a misstep.
Mm-hmm.
A bad one. Ring of Honor produced the show,
Yeah.
but the Bucks, Kenny Omega, Cody Rhodes, and Adam Page, their contracts were expiring.
Yeah.
Ring of Honor probably should have made them add a year or two to their contracts if they were going to produce this show.
Mm-hmm.
Because once that happened, man, the clamoring was real. And it was, okay, they've made money. They were, I would say at that point, they'd become millionaires,
Mm-hmm.
but not enough to start their own pro wrestling company. They needed a money man.
Right.
And that's where Tony Khan came into play, a lifelong wrestling fan playing with daddy's money.
Do you know anything about, because obviously, so if they were under contract to Ring of Honor at the time, it had to be in their contracts that they were allowed to do independent bookings, right? Otherwise,
Yes and no.
Otherwise, how were they even able to do this to begin with?
ROH produced it. It was an ROH produced show.
So was that part of? So I guess what I'm trying to figure out is, so did ROH have to? Was that part of the agreement? Okay, from ROH's standpoint,
No, I think it was just we'll produce it for you. Sign this agreement.
okay. Because in order for ROH to allow them to even make this event happen, there had to be an incentive.
No, in a ROH contract, you can do indie bookings.
Okay.
As long as the indie shows do not supersede with a Ring of Honor event.
Okay, that makes sense.
And there were other things too, like if you're a Ring of Honor champion, they are in control of your booking.
Okay.
Meaning that if you go to a promotion, they're not going to have you lose to Cletus the trash man.
Yeah.
Or you're going to be in a tag match with other Ring of Honor guys, and Ring of Honor gets to choose the finish.
Right. Okay.
So yeah. But, and keep in mind that Ring of Honor held their American contracts. New Japan held their international.
Oh, that's right. Okay. Yeah. But New Japan had nothing to do with this event, right?
No.
Okay.
New Japan allowed their talent to take part in it.
Okay.
But other than that, no.
Okay. Do you think, and maybe this is something more for next week, but I'm just curious, a quick take. Do you think that the real reason Tony Khan bought Ring of Honor, because he damn sure hasn't done much with it? I mean, he hasn't, but that part's.
Let me say something here.
You probably already know what I'm going to ask you.
No, I actually want to bring this up. It's sad to me what Tony Khan has done to Ring of Honor.
Yeah, I know.
Ring of Honor is the greatest independent wrestling promotion ever. Yeah. And you look at the talent that we have because of Ring of Honor. Christopher Daniels, Jay Lethal, AJ Styles. Well, not so much AJ, but Samoa Joe, CM Punk. On down the line. Yeah. Roderick Strong, Austin Aries. I could go on and on about Ring of Honor. I love Ring of Honor. I would ride with my buddies. We would leave at between 11 and noon on a Ring of Honor show day, drive 4 hours to Chicago, see the show and drive 4 hours back.
Yeah.
Be totally amped after that show because we were so blown away. And we only paid $20 to get in the door.
Yeah.
But yeah, Ring of Honor had one of their top, what is like one of their premium events last night. No one knew about it.
Right. I know.
Yeah, it's what Tony Khan has done.
But I was curious about your thought on a specific thing. And like I said, you probably see this question coming. But do you think the real reason Tony Khan bought Ring of Honor was because he wanted that first All In? He wanted the rights to that first All In event, and the only way to get them was to buy the company.
I think for Tony, it's who? But man, got to be careful here. Tony's a fanboy at his core. So
Sure.
I think Tony loves owning Ring of Honor. He just doesn't know what to do with it.
Yeah, apparently.
And that's unfortunate because Ring of Honor should be able to book itself, really. I don't even know. Yeah, Supercard of Honor was last night.
Okay.
Supercard of Honor was
know.
their big WrestleMania weekend event.
Yeah.
That is where we got Kenny Omega versus Cody Rhodes.
Yeah.
For the first time.
Yeah.
It's just a shame. I remember Final Battle, knowing every Black Friday, day after Black Friday, it was Final Battle, Ring of Honor's last event of the year, and you knew something big was going to happen. Death Before Dishonor was always where you had blow-offs to some of the biggest feuds. That's where you had the CM Punk Raven dog collar match.
Yeah.
I mean, this is grade A, high-quality stuff that Ring of Honor always did. Glory by Honor, when you had dream matchups, when you had CM Punk versus Terry Funk.
But knowing all that, though, do you think in addition to, so I'm going to add something to the equation in terms of my question. Did he want the original All In, and he wanted, just like when WWE bought WCW, they got that sweet tape library. Did Tony Khan want he wanted that tape library?
Yeah, he wanted that tape library because keep in mind, when he bought Ring of Honor, CM Punk, Daniel Bryan, Claudio Castagnoli, all Ring of Honor mainstays, Samoa Joe was coming in.
Yep.
He had them.
Yep.
So that tape library was huge, and he really hasn't done anything with it.
Yeah, it's so strange. It's bizarre. And allegedly, I remember him saying once that claiming because it's almost hard to believe that he had in fact had offers to put a Ring of Honor show on cable television, possibly on TBS or TNT or elsewhere, and he just didn't. Or at one point he said it was not TBS or TNT, but somewhere outside of that company, but out of loyalty, he didn't want to put Ring of Honor on a competing network or something. It's just really weird. His statements, whenever anybody asks him about Ring of Honor, it gets very strange. But yeah, he hasn't done anything with it.
It's like a kid that dreams about a toy on Christmas.
Yeah.
He gets the toy, and then he's like, okay, best way I can describe it. I just came up with a better way.
Okay.
Kid gets wants this giant Lego set for Christmas. Kid gets the Lego set, rips it open, and immediately sees all the separate baggies, the instruction booklet that's this thick. The kid's overwhelmed and is like, the hell do I do with this? That's Tony Khan with Ring of Honor. He has it.
And he has a tendency, it sounds like he has a tendency to kind of maybe micromanage things too much, because I remember too hearing that when he first bought it, he was trying to book Ring of Honor and do all the AEW booking and just do all of it, and running or whatever he does with the Jaguars and all that. And it's like, dude, delegate. There's no shortage of people in the wrestling business with creative minds who, he could have easily just had a separate team, just book Ring of Honor and have a little bit of crossover here and there with AEW, not too much so it doesn't get tired and stale, but a little bit, and do that, I
always thought the best thing to do with Ring of Honor was what they've done with NXT.
Yes, me too. I thought about that
too. Have it be an AEW developmental.
Yep.
Instead of doing the YouTube show, put Ring of Honor on YouTube.
Yeah, perfect. Yeah.
It's like you do Ring of Honor before your Saturday night show. tape it, and throw it on YouTube.
Yep. Yep.
And if you want, you could also throw it on HBO Max.
Yeah.
I mean, and then you can promote these events and promote Ring of Honor and give it what it deserves, because Ring of Honor is a very large fabric of pro wrestling today.
Mm-hmm.
It really is. And anyone that disagrees with that, you need to look at the history of Ring of Honor.
Mm-hmm.
We would not be here. I dare say this show would not exist if not for Ring of Honor.
Mm.
I'm very shocked that there hasn't been books on the oral history of Ring of Honor or anything like that, because it is a very, very, very interesting story. Ring of Honor, and just the amount of times that they were on life support and just found a way.
Oh yeah. And when Tony Khan bought it, they were on the ropes, right? So he was probably able to get a pretty sweet deal.
Yeah.
So he may have even been thinking in the back of his mind, well, I'm not paying much for this. So even if I can't figure out what to do with it, I get all in and I get that tape library.
Part of my major issue with Ric Flair is he almost bankrupt Ring of Honor.
Tell that story, because I only know a little bit of this. I don't know the whole story.
All right. So Ric Flair signed an agreement with Ring of Honor to appear at their shows and do meet and greets for them.
Okay.
Ric Flair was paid up front $15,000.
Holy shit.
He only did 2 of the shows and no showed the rest.
Okay.
If he appears, that money makes itself back.
Right.
But he didn't. And when he did appear at the show I met him at in Chicago, he upped the price of the meet and greet by $50.
He did?
Yeah.
Just there on the spot? Oh my God.
That day.
That's shitty.
That day.
Oh.
It was an asshole to everyone without a set of tits.
Yeah. Everything you're saying, though, is completely consistent with everything that we know about Flair.
Yeah.
I find it all very easy to imagine.
That's when my hate for Ric Flair began. Because I met him and told him, like growing up, I looked up to you. I didn't have a father growing up. Looked up to you. I cried when you lost to Ricky Steamboat. And he looks at me and he goes, that's fucking pathetic.
Oh my God, really? He said that to you?
Yeah.
Holy shit. Did you smell anything on his breath?
Oh, yeah. He smelled like a distillery.
Yeah.
I mean, he was hitting on women. Didn't matter if they were with a guy or not. Just and then he did. I was shocked, and he leans in for a Polaroid with me.
Yeah.
And it was supposed to be $100. That included your ticket and a meet and greet with Ric Flair.
Yeah.
1 autograph, 1 photo. We get to the show and Rick increased it by $50.
Jesus.
Or he wasn't going to appear.
Wow. That's bad. So how did he almost bankrupt? So he
that's $15,000 for an independent wrestling promotion. That's in indie wrestling. If you're going to spend any amount of money on a major star, you need to make double that back. So if you spend $15,000 on handful of appearances, those appearances, you need to make $30,000 off of it, or it's a financial loss.
Yeah.
They lost over $10,000.
Jesus.
On him no showing. For an indie promotion?
Yeah, that's brutal.
That's a kick in the ball sack.
Yeah. Yeah.
Especially when your TV deal is on HD Net.
Mm-hmm.
They were not on Sinclair yet.
Oh, okay. This was pre-Sinclair. Okay.
Yeah. That and some other bad business decisions is what led to the Sinclair deal and Sinclair being able to get it.
Oh, okay. And then, so how did this get resolved, or did it?
Still hasn't been.
Okay.
Kerry Silkin still will, if there's a convention and Ric Flair's there, Kerry Silkin will go to the convention.
Yeah.
And be like, "Where's my? You owe me $10,000."
Yeah, but has Silkin ever tried to sue
him? No, and because it's not Kerry's debt anymore.
Okay.
Because when Sinclair bought Ring of Honor, they bought Ring of Honor's debts. So it would be on Sinclair,
and they're not going to bother
to sue him. And now Tony Khan.
And Tony Khan certainly isn't.
No, Tony isn't going.
Yeah.
Tony ain't going to.
No.
But that was Kerry Silkin's money. Kerry personally put up that $15,000.
Yeah. Now, what has Flair said about this? Or has he said anything about it publicly? I'm sure he's been asked.
Oh, yeah. Miscommunication. That was in advance, and the first 2 appearances didn't make the money he thought it would, so he could violate the deal.
Oh, because that's how it works. Oh, boy.
Yeah. In music terms, Matt, if a record doesn't sell, the band can just opt out of the deal.
Right.
Same with the record company, which they can under mitigating circumstances, but... But yeah, band can walk.
Wow.
Yeah. He no-showed. The infamous one was Toronto. No-showed the event.
Yeah.
And Ring of Honor had a hard time getting people back after that in Toronto.
Yeah.
A very hard time.
It's terrible. That is terrible.
Yeah. So meeting him and then hearing, there's just been a lot about Ric Flair. And then when you write your own book and then say, I didn't contribute more than 30%, I just did it for the check. Like, what?
Yeah. Oh. Well, anyway, all right. Thank you for telling that story, though, because I didn't know some of the details on that.
Kerry Silkin to this day, and I've actually met Kerry.
Yeah.
Kerry is a great guy and loves the business.
Yeah.
Loves the business.
Yeah, so next week, obviously, we're going to get into AEW more deeply, but is there anything about All In that we didn't talk about?
Great event.
Yeah.
Great event. I mean, it's honored at the Now Arena. There is a plaque on the building.
Oh.
That actually commemorates it being the largest independent wrestling show of all time.
Oh, no kidding.
Yes.
That's cool.
All In was just, if for nothing else, the story of Cody Rhodes winning the NWA title.
Yeah.
I mean, even though they flipped it back to Nick Aldis, rightfully so, a couple weeks later, just was so great.
All right, now I have one more question for you. Because I said this, might have been last week. I said this, and you vehemently disagreed with me on this. And obviously, we'll revisit this question next week. But I wanna first ask you now, and then we can dive further into it next week. But the question I want to ask you, because I want to ask you again now that we're at the end of our discussion about All In specifically. I said, going back to Cody Rhodes, that without AEW, Cody Rhodes is not the main event top guy that he is in WWE today. And you disagreed with me. Now, I'm curious, do you disagree with me because you feel that everything he did up to AEW with the Bullet Club and All In and everything, do you think that is enough where he could see? That's where you and I disagree.
If there was no AEW, WWE would have signed the Bucks, and Cody. They would not have gotten Kenny Omega.
So are you saying, because maybe I don't entirely disagree with you, because it sounds like, are you saying that, so if you let's say AEW never happens, but All In, so they pull off All In, everything else about the story is the same, just says no eventual AEW. Do you think at that point, and the ROH contract is up and whatnot, do you think at that point WWE tries to re-sign Cody, they get him, and he's a top guy, a main event guy?
Yes. The AEW changes
convinced.
nothing for Cody. AEW changes nothing for the Young Bucks. I think the Young Bucks would still be in WWE right now. And knowing what we know now, let me preface this. Are you also changing Vince losing power?
No, because Vince was still in power when they lured Cody back.
That was a part of the issue. Cody did not want to be booked by Vince.
Right.
So
understandable.
If Triple H, everything happening, just no AEW. Triple H ends up taking over. Yeah, the Bucks are multiple-time WWE World Tag Team Champions.
I agree on that.
They're one of the top tag teams in pro wrestling. And I think Cody Rhodes is the guy in WWE. I think if Cody Rhodes signed after All In, we do not get Roman Reigns as we have him right now.
Really?
We do not get the tribal chief.
Because you think that space, in effect, would have been taken up by Cody?
That. So I think Roman Reigns ends up getting cut or relegated to the mid-card.
So if we're talking about right after the initial All In and WWE bringing him back, obviously at an elevated level because he had proven he could succeed outside the WWE system, I'm more open to that. I'm still skeptical that he'd be quite as big a deal, but I see what you're saying. I see your point, and I'm starting to come around to what you're saying.
Kenny Omega, I want to add this. Yeah. Kenny Omega never will sign with WWE.
Yeah.
Never will happen.
Well, he's at the end of his career anyway. He has to be.
I don't think so.
The diverticulitis almost killed. I mean, I understand it. You can say the same for Brock, but I mean, he's really, he gave an interview recently where he was talking about that dude has got problems with the diverticulitis. Really, he's never going to be the same. For his own sake,
he's not going to be but AEW is booking him very smart. They're not putting him on weekly TV.
Right.
They are bringing him in with big stories to build around.
Yes.
And if you can imagine if WWE they're giving Kenny Omega, as they should, the Roman Reigns treatment.
Yes.
Look, so yeah, I don't believe he's close to being done. And Kenny Omega will tell us when he's close to being done. Kenny is not going to go out and give us matches below his standard.
Oh, I agree.
If he goes out at All In today and has a bad match with Okada, he would, I think, legitimately sit down with Tony Khan and say, hey,
yeah,
we need to reevaluate. My greatest rival and I just had a shit match.
Yeah.
I ain't got it.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Kenny wouldn't have signed. Adam Page, I don't think Adam Page would have signed.
No.
I'm a bit iffier on that. Because I don't know. I'm not as definitive. I could see a situation where Adam Page signed. Marty Scurll, no. I mean, Marty would have been cut because of the Me Too allegations.
Mm-hmm.
So Marty, no. Yeah. I don't see if AEW doesn't happen, Cody and the Bucks go to WWE over like Rover.
Yeah, I'm more I'm more open to what I'm still not. I'm not as convinced as you are, but I'm more open to that point of view than I was
The easiest
before.
thing you can book is the success of someone else's character.
Hmm.
That's why Bret Hart and WCW always befuddled me.
Hmm.
Like, just piggyback on that success. Eventually, you'll have to come up with your own stuff. And I think WWE would have been more than capable. But I think also we got the best version of Cody in WWE because he was in AEW.
Okay.
Because he got that backstage experience and learned producing, putting a show together, timing it out. Those are just things you can do in the ring
Hmm.
that puts you head and shoulders above your contemporaries.
Hmm. Hmm. Yeah. Okay. Well, so anything else on All In? I think we've.
If anyone has the opportunity to see the event, I cannot recommend it enough.
Yeah.
All this Cody Rhodes match, easily one of the best matches of both of their careers, and they've had some really good matches. Kenny Omega versus Penta.
Oh, I'd like to
Top
see that.
notch.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, geez, I can imagine. Yeah. Okay.
Okada, Marty Scurll was good. I mean, the whole event,
Yeah.
except the main event because it had to be cut short.
Yeah.
Top to bottom is money. In the main event, when you hear the names that were in it, Kota Ibushi, Matt Jackson, and Nick Jackson versus Bandito, Rey Fenix, and Rey Mysterio.